Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. Today we're talking about NFL draft preview for the Chicago Bears. And to help us do that, we got my main man, Marcus Coach Floyd, in the building to help us out. Make sure you go on YouTube, subscribe to that page, leave a comment. We definitely will comment. Go ahead and check it out. The Chicago Bears finished 8-8 last season, but they made the playoffs. So it was a good thing, but the playoffs didn't go so well. So Mitch Trubisky was the quarterback, not no more. The Bears picked up Andy Dalton. But the Bears have a lot of needs when it comes to this draft. I mean, you can argue quarterback is still one in other positions. So, Coach, man of the hour, I'm going to ask you, what should the Bears do with the number 20 pick?
What should the Bears do? So the Bears made it to the playoffs, as you said. They have made some off-season moves. They cut ties with Mitch Trubisky. And now going into the draft with the 20th pick, they have some needs. Obviously, it's going to be quarterback is a need. Offensive tackle specifically is a need. Wide receiver and cornerback are needs. But here's the thing that I like to think of with first round. I always come from the frame of I think you need to draft best available. Best available. Sometimes you might not need that position, but if it's a transition talent, I say you take that. So I'm a firm believer of drafting best available. I really like the Bears at the 20 because how this draft is going to work out. You know, nowadays everybody overrates the quarterback. So right away, by the time 20 come around, 5 quarterbacks are going to be gone. That's 5 spots. I also believe that 4 of the top pass catchers will be gone with the Pitts, the Waddle, the Smith, and Chase. So that's 9 picks already gone. Then you start looking at it's some top cornerbacks, some top edge rushers that I think the Bears really could get a player that could come in and play right away. And I think who's going to be left out of those top 25 players, most talented, I think there'll be some corners and some offensive linemen, which it works out because that's 2 of the Chicago Bears' needs. I would love, if he's there, I think they should run to the podium. I would love for them to have J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn, that would be excellent. He's a bigger cornerback out of South Carolina. He is physical. He's physical. He do have some weakness. They said some of his weaknesses is playing in space, and in the NFL nowadays you have to play zone. But man to man, you can put him on a receiver and he's good to go. Might be rated better than Jalen Johnson, who they have. We know we lost Kyle Fuller, so J.C. Horn could fill right in. That defense is getting older, and having that 1-2 tandem will be great for J.C. Horn. One thing about J.C. Horn from South Carolina, he's played some of the best. He's in the SEC. SEC West at that. So he's played some of the best receivers. I think he's a person you could plug and play right away. Like I said before, he's physical, bigger receiver. He's not the best, bigger corner. He's not the best cornerback on the board. I think that's Surtain, but I think Surtain will be gone. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He got all the measurables or whatever. He'll be long gone. Some mock drafts have J.C. Horn maybe gone, but I think it's a possibility that J.C. Horn, Caleb Farley, one of those cornerbacks will be there for the taking, and they could plug and play right away.
I like both of those picks. I do like the cornerback position. I know offensive line I always said was heavy, but that losing Kyle Fuller was a big loss, and that's something they're going to have to fix.
And also, we can always say offensive lineman, but what we hearing, and is this is a very deep offensive line, offensive tackle draft.
So you might be able to get somebody in the second round, third round, something like that. All right, what should the Bears do with the number 20 pick?
Well, you know what? Hopefully, Virginia Tech offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw is available there at the number 20 pick, and he reacts quickly to edge rushers, counter moves, and once he latches on to defenders, it's over with. Okay, and he comes from a run-heavy offense at Virginia Tech. That's what the Bears need. We need to run the ball. We need to be a top 5 rushing offense in the NFL next year because we're gonna have a mediocre quarterback. Okay, and that's what's gonna happen.
No hope for the red
The red rifle?
The red rifle?
No, man. It's gonna be mediocre, okay? And so, or I'll also take the other guy, T.I.M.E. Jenkins. He's 6'6", 325 pounds, and he went to Oklahoma State. He's a temperamental guy, but he finishes blocks very well. He played right tackle, and the Bears cut starting right tackle Bobby Massey. He's going. They re-signed Jermaine Ifedi. He's holding down the right tackle position, but he's like a stopgap type of guy.
Always get an upgrade.
Yep.
Now the thing is, the Bears did sign former Denver Bronco right tackle Elijah Wilkinson.
Yeah.
They signed him, but he's entering the 5th year of his career, and he also started 26 games in the last 3 years. But still, I would love to have Christian Darrisaw or T.I.M.E. Jenkins. Hopefully one of those guys is right there for the Bears to take, because I think Rashad Slater from Northwestern, I don't think he's going to fit. He'll be long gone, okay? So one of those guys would be great.
So I'm going to ask you, both of y'all, whichever one want to chime in. What if it comes to a situation for the Bears, we named a bunch of players at 20, would you be opposed to trading up or trading down for this pick? The 20th pick. Trading back to get more picks, or are you willing to make a jump and trade up and try to go get maybe a quarterback?
No. I don't trust. I don't trust Ryan Pace. Yeah. I say no. I don't trust him because when you trade up, you're going to have to give up a lot. Right now, if you look at the Chicago Bears, they're one of the oldest teams in the NFL. They're aging. They've got some talent on the team, but they're aging. I like to look at the Chicago Bears. They were 8-8. They were an 8-8 team. If we got to be honest, they were a descending 8-8 team, where a lot of their talent is getting old. Yeah. Whereas you look at the Washington Redskins, who was 7-9. They were ascending. There you can see they're about to get better. They picked one pick ahead of us. Yeah. And so I wouldn't even trade back for this 20th pick unless they just fell in love with an O-lineman or a cornerback or something like that they could get. Just because we need more talent and we need young talent. Yeah. So there's going to be some players at number 20. Maybe in the later rounds, I have some stuff where maybe they should go up or whatever. But 20, you could get a decent player that could come in and play right away, and that's what we need. Especially, as Adi said, on the offensive line, and we have some huge needs. I will add, and I didn't add in the first part, the other day we signed T.I.M.E. Gibson. I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowler, not saying
he was solid last year. He was solid.
He was a solid player.
He was solid.
That also helps this draft out tremendously because safety would have been probably a number one if we didn't sign him. Not saying we don't go get one later for the future, but that re-signing was huge because safety would have been ahead of corner, would have been ahead of a lot of things that we need.
Absolutely. So,
well, I would say like the trading up thing. You talking about Ryan Pace loves to trade up. That's his favorite thing in life.
That's what he do.
Now, but you talk about trading a 2022 first round pick, some second round pick, some other pick, and God knows what else to move up for who? Trey Lance for who? Mac Jones? Nah, forget about that.
Fall to 20, let him fall to 20.
Maybe Justin Fields, maybe. Okay,
keep the pick there, right?
But I will say this, man, about the draft. Now, the Vikings, Raiders, Dolphins, and Giants, all those teams need offensive tackles, all right? So, Christian Darrisaw and T.I.M.E. Jenkins may be gone when the Bears pick at the number 20 spot. So, and since Ryan Pace foolishly chose Desmond Trufant and mediocre Andy Dalton over mediocre Mitch, and the Bears' best cornerback since Peanut Tillman, Kyle Fuller. He's in Denver with our old friend Vic Fangio. Yeah. And we also lost the starting nickelback, Buster Screen. He's going. You could argue that cornerback is the Bears' biggest need heading into this draft. Now, we know Patrick Surtain. We know he's going to be going from Alabama. Now, Marcus talked about J.C. Horn, the Gamecock. So I'll be shocked if he's available.
If he's there, they better.
They gotta take him.
If they don't take him, he go to number 20. They better get him.
Yeah, I'll be shocked. I'll be surprised if Horn falls to 20. Also, Virginia Tech's the turbo speed guy, Caleb Farley. I'll be surprised if he's there at number 20 as well, because people overblew that black back situation. Yeah. But it really is not as big as a deal as it is. You saw him run 4.28 just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I would say that the Bears should look at if Darisaw and Tevin Jenkins is not there, they should look at the Chicago native, Northwestern Wildcat, my man Greg Newsom II.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, the cornerback. He was good. Yeah. I mean, Northwestern, he was solid. The man 6'1", 190 pounds. He's very versatile, very athletic. He played mostly zone coverage at Northwestern, but he has the instincts. He has the foot speed, the long speed, that excellent footwork. He ran a 4.38 40, so he can hold his own in man-to-man coverage. And the other guy I was looking at, the Georgia Bulldog, Tyson Campbell. He played he was very impressive against some top-notch competition. Florida Gators, playing against the Florida Gators, he played against Kyle Pitts, Kadarius Toney, also Anthony Squarts from Auburn, the Alabama boys, Jalen Waddle, and Devonta Smith.
Yep.
So, and he's 6'2". He got some nice height for a cornerback, a little bit taller than Greg Newsom. So we don't end up getting an offensive tackle. I'm with you, Marcus. Go ahead and get a cornerback.
Definitely somebody to plug. We gotta get a starter. Gotta get a starter.
Absolutely. So no love for Davis Mills. I'm hearing there's a lot of Davis Mills love.
Not in the first round.
So it's a couple things we can't do. There's 5 quarterbacks that we know will go in the first round. We don't want to get number 6 quarterback.
We don't.
I'm of the belief
not in the first round.
There's 4 pass catchers. We don't want to get number 5. We don't. It's a lot of things that I feel like at 20 you could get, but no, I say take one of the best available players. Let's not reach for anything. Take one of the best available players, and it will be, as me and Adi agree, there will be a corner or an O-line available at number 20.
Yeah, I believe so too. So, but you hear things, and you know Ryan Pace right now. He's GMing for his job right now, so you just never know what type of move they're gonna make. A desperate GM is never a good GM. So, but we shall see about the first round. We talked about the first round, but sometimes the second round is where you find the true gems. Sometimes you find superstars in the second round, and your second round pick is just as important as your first round pick. Adi, so I'm gonna start with you on this one. What should the Bears do with the number 2 second round pick, number 52 overall pick?
Well, you know what? Before I say what I want them to do, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and I'm going to talk about what I really don't want them to do, okay? I'm just going to talk about the quarterback situation, okay? All right, so in the second round, the Bears are going to have 3 to 4 quarterback options, okay? You got the Florida Gator, Kyle Trask, okay?
Kyle Trask.
He's a big, immobile quarterback, 6'4", 240 pounds. Versus LSU, he threw a pass right on the money, but it was to the other team. It was taken back for a pick 6. In the Cotton Bowl against the Oklahoma Sooners, he drops back the pass, throws the pass to his wide receiver, running the out route, throws it very late, pick 6. And later on in that game, his wide receiver ran a deep hitch in the end zone, threw it late again, interception. The man had 0 touchdown passes in that game. He had 3 interceptions in that game. Ryan Pace, I know you secretly watching Spectator Sporting. Please do not draft Kyle Trash. Okay?
Kyle Trash.
Don't do it. All right? Don't bring him to the Bears. Now the other guy, the Aggie, Kellen Mond. All right?
Kellen Mond.
Now, Kellen Mond, he played in the Senior Bowl. The Carolina Panthers coach, Matt Rule, coached him in the Senior Bowl. And he said Kellen Mond reminds him of Colin Kaepernick. And our guy, Hakeem, came on the show, and he said he reminds him of Colin Kaepernick.
Wow.
And so that's cool and everything, but Matt Nagy has proven to me that he can't adjust to mobile quarterbacks, okay? He doesn't adjust the playbook for mobile quarterbacks. I think Kellen Mond would be better off going to somewhere like New Orleans or the Steelers. Don't come to Chicago. And so then you have Davis Mills. Roach brought him up in the first round. Davis Mills, he has a lot of talent. He can move in the pocket very well, but he only started 11 games in his career, and the man should went back to school because he took advantage of the 2022 draft where it's supposed to be a weak draft class, and but he came out, and the Bears need to learn from their mistakes. Mr. Trubisky, he only started 13 games in college. We don't need that. All right, learn from your mistakes. And then the other guy, Jamie Newsom, all right? This man, okay.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. He opted out last year. In his last 5 games in college, he only threw over 50%. He only had over 50% completion percentage one time in his last 5 games in college. Don't draft him. Drafting a quarterback outside the first round for the Bears this year would be a wasted pick because the dude would be a third string quarterback, okay, right behind Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. And the man would be on the practice squad, holding the clipboard, doing nothing, which makes no sense for a GM and a coach that's supposed to be on the hot seat, supposed to win in 2021, or you out. So how is picking a quarterback that's going to be on the bench for the whole season redshirting, how is that going to help you win? How is it going to help you beat the Packers, the Vikings, and the Steelers and the Browns? How is that dude on the practice squad helping you beating these teams? It makes no sense. And all the frantic enthusiasm about picking a quarterback in the second round, to me, makes no sense, and I hope they don't do it.
I hear you. I mean, that's a big, but you got to understand, that's a hot topic in Chicago. I mean, that quarterback position is the reason for everything right now. And right now, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, they have a mandate from the front office that they better figure this out and get this done. So they might reach. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised if they reach for that quarterback. Marcus, what should they do with that second round pick?
All right. In the second round, I said first round, my theory is always drafting best available. Second round, you go after need. I think you go after your biggest need. It's a lot of talent left in the second round. Our previous GM will always go after best available. That got Alshon Jeffrey. But Ryan Pace history has shown that he will do both. He will do both. I look at 2018 where we had Cody White as a Pro Bowler center. And he went and got the best available talent on the board, James Daniels. So some GMs will always go after best available talent. I say we go after our biggest need. Here's the thing, though. Our biggest need at this point, I said a cornerback the first round. So now our biggest need could be a receiver or offensive lineman. Let's think about Ryan Pace with receivers. 2015, he drafted Kevin White first round. 2018, he traded up to get Anthony Miller.
Wow.
2019, he got Ridley, who barely could get on the field.
Riley Ridley. Oh, yeah. Fourth round pick.
Finally, he got it right. In 2020, he got Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
So right now, I think Ryan Pace, if I'm Ryan Pace and you guys got me on this show trying to be Ryan Pace, I'm going to stay away from receivers. I'm going to go to the deep offensive line draft. And I wouldn't mind seeing them, maybe the Alabama kid, Alex Leatherwood, being available, 6'5", 312 pounds. He was a first-round draft pick last year. He decided to come back and his draft stock dropped. He was on a very talented team. He's a 5-star kid out of high school. He's just had the pressure. He had the pressure on him. He's still been one of the top offensive linemen in high school, in college. It's just they want to see him ascend, want to see him dominate. He did not dominate. He was still all SEC. They just want to see him do a lot better to make that first round draft pick grade go to a top 10. And that's what he didn't do. Like I said, he dropped. He's definitely an NFL starter on the offensive line. Some say he might end up being a guard, but at this point, you have to try him at tackle. Maybe right tackle, but then eventually move him over to left tackle. Like I said, he's played with the best of the best, played in the SEC. Both of my picks been from the SEC. I say go after Alex Leatherwood, and also his weakness is they say he's a nice guy. I agree. Can't be a nice guy on the offensive line. That's where you need the big and nasty. That's where you need the dirty. You need the cowl on, whatever. So that's his weakness. Like I said, his draft stock dropped, but I can't find anywhere where it's because of his physicality, because of his explosiveness. It's just he did not dominate as they wanted him to see by him being one of the projected players. I think that'd be a great pick if he's still there.
Yeah, you are right, because it is deep offensive line, and the Bears, I mean, we saw last year they had major issues on the offensive line, especially at the tackle positions. So hopefully they get that fit. Anything else you want to add to the second round pick?
Well, yeah, now I'll talk about what I want the Bears to do in the second round. So now let's say if the Bears do take offensive tackle in the first round, they're definitely going to have to look at a cornerback in the second round of the draft. And I'm looking at the Washington Husky, Elijah Moore. 5'10", 190, and he played every position in the secondary. Very versatile guy, and he has great awareness, and he's a throwback kind of guy. He's a make football violent again type of dude. They say he's projected to be best at nickelback on the next level. And then you also got the Seminole, Asante Samuel Jr., as our guy Jay Knight would say, he's a play taker. All right, the man, he only played 8 games last year. He had 6 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and he had great anticipation in route recognition out there. You can tell he learned a lot from his pops as far as watching film, and he is 5'10", but so is Green Bay's all-pro cornerback Jair Alexander is also 5'10". And so now, if the Bears do take a cornerback in the first round, here's a couple of more offensive tackles that they can have available. The Michigan Wolverine, Jalen Mayfield, okay? He's 6'5", 320 pounds. His run blocking is his strength, and he's pretty athletic for a big guy. Then you got the Golden Domer, the Notre Dame guy, Liam Eichenberg. He may fall to the second round, even though he's the 3rd best pass blocker in the NFL draft. Behind,
just throw him out there.
Yeah, I mean, Eichenberg from the football factory.
Offensive line.
But he can block his ass off in pass blocking. Rashad Slater from Northwestern and Panay Sewell from Oregon is the only one's pass blocking grades are higher than him.
Yeah.
But he's 305, pretty big guy, but he should put on some more weight, gain some more strength so he can be more of a brawler in the run game. But those are a couple of more options that they can have on the offensive line in the second round.
Yeah, both of y'all make great points, and we go back to it. I know I was throwing out other people. I just wanted to see where everybody was at. But the Bears, this is a draft. Even though Ryan Pace and Nagy job is on, this is a draft. You need to be patient and maybe just select your picks, and you might do way more damage doing that than trying to do anything extraordinary, because like you said it will be some good players available at number 20 and at number 52 in the second round. There's no doubt about it.
I will say one more thing, just to add on to my point about don't draft a quarterback. Okay, so here's a second round quarterback since 2016. Christian Hackenberg went to the Jets. From Penn State.
He couldn't even make the XFL, right?
Christian Hackenberg. Also, Deshaun Kaiser. He got drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the second round.
Gonna be good. I admit, I thought he was gonna be
from Notre Dame, right?
Notre Dame.
Drew Lock, he's second round pick. He's with the Broncos right now. And you have Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, and we'll see what happens. So, look, I'm not going to get all enthusiastic about drafting a quarterback in the second round.
Let's talk about the third round. Wait a minute. We haven't had a third round pick. When was the last time we had a third?
David Montgomery.
David Montgomery
was the third round.
We traded up for that.
David Montgomery. We traded up.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a third. We didn't have a fourth round pick, but we have a third round. We have a first this year, a second, and a third. When was the last time we had that?
Been a minute.
It's been a while. So third round pick, it's always great value. The Bears have drafted in the past. Maybe not this regime, but other regimes have drafted third round talent before. I mean, like you just said, David Montgomery, who finished the season very strong for the Chicago Bears last year. So that could be something. Mm-hmm. So, Coach, tell us about the third round. What should the Bears do with the 83rd overall pick?
All right. I'm glad Adi went first on his second round rant, what not to do. So he might agree with me, because I have a feeling, and Adi was right on with that second round 52. I got a feeling the Bears are going to be, Ryan Pace are going to be like just waiting to get a quarterback, waiting to draft up, because Kellen Mond is going to be sitting there. Trash. He's going to be sitting there. Newman is going to be sitting there.
Mills.
And Davis Mills. And if they could just be patient and wait. If they could just be patient. I don't believe they could, because the third round, that's when they could go try to take a chance. Davis. This is where Ryan Pace could show. He's like showing that he's the smartest man in the room. And I'm gonna go for a reach. And he's a Illinois. Well, he's from Illinois State. And I'm going to go after the quarterback, Brady Davis. Brady Davis.
Wow.
At third, now you have a quarterback. Will he come in and play right away? No, he's a project, but it's a third round, and Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy get their guy, and they could show how smart they are. They could show. Ryan Pace could show he's smarter than everybody else. He could go find a quarterback that nobody else like, or maybe they do like him, and because this will be a reach going for a third round. Matt Nagy could show he could whisper in a QB ear and make him better. And then by 2022-23, we're ready to roll with Brady Davis. What do we know about Brady Davis? He's a 6-year quarterback. Wow. 6-year quarterback. He could make some throws. He played at Illinois State his last 2 years. He had a knee injury that ended his year. He has the talent. It's just, what have you seen? He's on the same level as, not level. Trey Lance is a lot better, but he played in the FCS. Okay. So people question the talent he played against. But remember, I'm going to tell you, he started at the University of Memphis. And transferred to Illinois State. One thing about him, he was A.J. Brown's high school quarterback. A.J. Brown's high school quarterback. Well, he's right here in Illinois. That I know some scouts should have been at the game. I know Ryan Pace better know about him. Here's your project. If he doesn't work out, we could still bash him or whatever. But just don't do it, as Adi said, in the first and second round. I'm okay with you taking a flyer in the third round, taking a project, trying to make something happen out of nothing. What do we have to lose in the third round? First and second round, we can't afford it. A couple other things about him. He's a bigger quarterback. He's the 6'3" range, 210 pounds. He's not a small guy. A lot of times at these smaller schools, you see unbelievable talent, but you see them as smaller guys. One thing you're not going to like about this, he has the build and the frame of Mitch Trubisky. So Ryan Pace might like him even more.
Matt Nagy won't like it.
So I'm going for a reach, but if they were to, and I'm saying that because I have a feeling between day 1 and day 2, they're going to try to come out of there with a quarterback. I don't think they should, but if they do, and I'm hoping and praying, this is the guy. Like I said, I have a feeling Newman, even Ian Book from Notre Dame, Trask, I have a feeling they're going to be gone second round. I have a feeling everybody's going to be reaching for those. Those are not second round quarterbacks. So draft the guy that is probably not as high as those guys, didn't play in the bigger programs as those guys, and has probably the same measurables as those guys. So your only knock is that he didn't play in the bigger conferences. So I say Brady Davis.
Brady Davis, quarterback. You're right. I know Pace and Nagy. They gonna find a way to get a quarterback. They gonna try. They gonna try everything in their power. What's going on with this third round pick? What should the Bears do with this 83rd pick in the draft?
Well, I say besides quarterback, the Bears' third biggest need is edge rusher. Okay. If Robert Quinn doesn't bounce back with a good year in 2021. He'll be the most disappointing Bears free agent since the former Chief and former Minnesota Viking.
Who?
Jared Allen.
Wait, was he really that terrible?
He was terrible with the Bears. Okay, he's going down that road.
Because Julius Peppers went to the Packers and balled out that last. That's what we pretty much gave up.
Julius played good with the Bears though.
Julius was great with the Bears.
No, that's what I'm saying. When he went to the Packers, he was still balling. He was still good with the Packers. That's what I'm saying.
Jared Allen, he didn't do too well with the Bears, and so hopefully Robert Quinn doesn't do the same thing. And I'm trying to figure out if Khalil Mack can get back to his Defensive Player of the Year candidate days. All right, he is the third highest paid defensive player in the NFL, but he is 30 years old. And now, if you guys are wondering why the Bears don't have a 4th round pick, is because in last year's draft, Ryan Pace traded that pick to move up into the 5th round last year and draft the edge rusher from Tulsa, Travis Gibson. And last year, Travis Gibson I didn't see him do much of anything last year. He did close to nothing, okay? I'll say the Bears need an edge rusher. So I'm looking at the Blue Devil, Chris Rumph II, all right? The man, he's 6'4", 235 pounds. He has very good hands to keep offensive linemen from latching on to him. He has a nice little speed burst to the quarterback. And last year in 11 games, he had 12.5 tackles for loss. He had 8 sacks. But if he doesn't put on more weight, he's going to be limited to being a situational pass rusher. Now you also got the Miami Hurricane. His name is Quincy Roche, right? Yeah. Quincy Roche, Miami Hurricane, and at Temple. Well, the man, he has some very crafty counter moves on the field, so he can get to the quarterback pretty nice with that. But at Temple in 2019, the man had a monster year. He had 19 tackles for loss, 13 sacks, and he should have entered the NFL draft in 2019, but he wanted to prove to everybody that he can go up a level, go up to some higher competition and perform very well. That's why he ended up in Miami, and last year he had 14.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. It went down a notch, but still, if Ryan Pace wants to get an edge rusher, if he wants Chris Rumph II or Roche, he's going to take him in the 3rd round. And we need to put some pressure on Khalil Mack. We need to put some pressure on Robert Quinn. We need to put some pressure on Travis Gibson. I would like for them to get an edge rusher in the 3rd round.
Edge rusher, quarterback, whatever it is, I say in the 3rd round, no matter, you go get the best available. I think this is where, like, when you get these later rounds, like, you don't know who's going to pan out. You go get the best available, whatever the position is. Even if you got somebody at that position already, I think you go get them. I mean, I think the Bears, you brought up DN, you do edge rusher, you brought up quarterback. I think they can use another running back, honestly, in the draft. I think they can use another running back. I think they can use a receiver. So it's a lot of things they need. So I would just suggest, no matter what, get the best player available. If that happens to be a quarterback, get the quarterback. If it's an edge rusher, get the best player that you know that can come in and produce and be the best for your team. I mean, right now. So,
I will tell you this. I'm going to tell you another thing why I actually don't want the Bears to take a quarterback at all in this draft.
I don't even really.
I'm going to give you a list of 3rd round quarterbacks that was drafted since 2015. You have Garrett Bryson. He went to the Saints, all right? You have Sean Mannion. He went to the Rams. Jacoby Brissett went to the New England Patriots.
He's decent.
Cody Kessler from USC. He went to the Cleveland Browns. C.J. Beathard went to the 49ers.
Got a couple of games.
Davis Webb. He went to the New York Giants. Mason Rudolph, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Got to that whole, well, that's a different story.
And Will Greer. Those are your 3rd round quarterbacks since
West Virginia
2015. Look, to me, it's a wasted pick if you take a quarterback in this draft. It's a wasted pick. The dude's going to be a practice squad dude. He's going to be on the bench behind Nick Foles, behind Andy Dalton. I just say, to me, as a Bears fan, I really don't give a shit about the quarterback position. I said, I don't give a, just forget it. You just get running backs, wide receivers. Just be good, and we can be good in other positions, but quarterback, I
definitely agree with you, but you could have that, and I'm not saying the guy I chose was going to be this. Russell Wilson was 3rd round as well.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson was 3rd round as well.
Yeah, so that's like one out of
it's like you got to hit the lottery. Like any draft pick, you got to hit the lottery. Yeah. But I do think, and I was thinking, trying to think as Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy, and I know
they go get a quarterback.
I don't think they're going to leave this draft, and I don't think they're going to leave this draft without a quarterback. I don't think they're going to leave day 1 and 2. And that's what I'm scared of.
I agree that they're going to waste the pick on the quarterback. They're going to not play.
And my hope was if they just stand there and be patient and take a quarterback that fall to them in the 3rd round, because deep down inside, I feel like they're going to trade up to get one. I deep down inside, I feel like they're going to salvage all those picks and they're going to end up taking Kyle Trask or whatever in 2nd round, 4th pick. So that's what deep down inside I think was going to happen. This is the best case scenario.
Don't scare me. Come on, we don't need that pressure. Don't scare me.
I think Jamie Newman, Ian Book, all of them gonna be sitting there, and he ain't gonna be able to hold it. He's gonna.
Yeah,
they caving into the media pressure. Like the media every day, there's a quarterback. When we go get a quarterback? Look, there is no solution to the quarterback position in 2021. There is no solution to it. They keep trying to turn over this stone, that stone, this stone. Yeah. It's not there. Just fix the other positions.
So here's the question. Are they, and maybe this is deep down inside, and I know we're not, because he's always said, the Red Rifleman, Andy Dalton, he's the 33rd best quarterback in the league, probably. He's the number one backup.
Yeah.
Are they sold? That's the question then. Are they sold on Andy Dalton, or do they think they could get one of those top 5 guys in battle? That's
the only way they can get the top 5 guys that they traded up.
They have to trade up. That's what scares me.
But you're not getting Trevor Lawrence. You're not getting the boy from BYU.
Yeah,
that's over with. So them two dudes is gone.
You are getting Trey Lance or Mac Jones.
You're getting Trey Lance or Mac Jones.
Or if Fields dropped. If he starts getting to the 10, 11, then they're going. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I do agree, 3 quarterbacks to go right first. Some people say 4 quarterbacks.
Four in the top 10.
Coming. No, I'm talking about 4 coming off the first 4 picks.
Yeah.
Some people say 4 coming off the first 4 picks.
Right.
Yeah, but I think at 20, those 5 will be gone. And don't try to go and make Magic out of number 6.
We had the 5th best quarterback in 1999. We took the 5th quarterback in 1999, Cade McNown.
Yeah.
We took the 5th quarterback in that draft. And just because we just so desperate to get a quarterback, we got to get a quarterback.
Quarterback draft. Well,
but only 2 ended up being good. Dante Culpepper and Donovan McNabb. Those only 2 that ended up being good. And so,
well, they say that. I forgot the percentage I heard the other day that they don't pan out. Most don't.
Most don't.
First round quarterback don't pan out.
If you look at the draft,
they're saying at least it's a possibility that there's definitely 3. 4 of these guys are going to be busts.
Yeah. If you look what the Rams did, the Rams traded up for Jared Goff, and he didn't pan out for him. The Eagles traded up for Carson.
Well, I think he panned out.
They just wanted better. They trying to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they. He's definitely could get them to where they're trying to be, but they're trying to. Well, they could get them to where they have in the playoffs. They just. In the playoffs, need a playmaker.
Yeah, absolutely. So we shall see, though, man. But we all know the Bears gonna get a quarterback. They gonna figure it out. They gonna do it somewhere in this draft. This gonna be something.
They gonna do it in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, it's gonna be something that's gonna happen. We'll see. So now the Bears do not have a 4th round pick. They have a 5th round. And they have 4 6th round. Am I correct in that?
Correct.
Okay, so they have 4 6th round. No set. So. Going forward, we all talked about the needs. We pretty much was right along the board. They need cornerback, offensive tackle. You said edge rusher. I know quarterback. We all say don't draft a quarterback, but we know who's drafted, so it's possible it's gonna happen. But let's talk about these last few picks. I'll start with you on this one, Coach. What are you looking for the Bears to do with some of these last picks coming up?
Well, as we just alluded to, this is Ryan Pace's time. This is where he's had some success in what we call now day 3 or in the later rounds. Last year got Darnell Mooney. Some other rounds Tariq Cohen, Bilal Nichols, Jordan Howard, Adrian Amos. So he's hit the jackpot in some later rounds. He's been able to show he's the smartest guy in the room on the later rounds. It's just he just haven't got the first couple rounds right where you get paid to do. So I am at this point, I'm looking for Ryan Pace to bring in some special teams players, some players maybe from some smaller schools. One thing we did not talk about, but I do want to talk about, because this is where the free agency signing come in at. And I did say earlier about them getting Gibson was huge. Them picking up Damian Williams at the running back was huge. They were filling some backup positions or maybe starter and safety position. So now we could shore up their special teams. I think what's going to be a huge loss for the Bears is Cordell Patterson.
Yeah.
Not just because of the kickoff ability, but what people don't realize, he was a special teams all-pro, because when you watch that game, he was the first down there making a tackle.
Yeah, he definitely
So
was.
this is where you gotta show that, hey, you did some scouting. Maybe these players can't get on the field or whatever, but special teams is still, as Lovey taught us a long time ago, it's still phase 3. You gotta win the special teams as well.
Yep.
Not just the kick and the punt, but you gotta be able to make some, you got the coverage or whatever. So these are the rounds that Ryan Pace, like I said, the Bilal Nichols and things like that. This is where you go find that guy to bag up Mac. This is where you go find that guy to come in, Javon Williams, I know we're very low on or whatever, Riley Ridley. This is where he's have to hit. He has to hit on some of these late rounds. He got to find him an Adrian Amos. And Ryan Pace is trying to save his job, and this is what's going to be his calling card. He find a starter in one of those 4-6 round picks. He might start winning some fans back over that. Maybe not for Mitch. Maybe not.
Yeah, he has had some luck in the 5th round. He definitely has in the later rounds. Before I ask you, let's talk about Anthony Miller.
Yeah.
What's the verdict on Anthony Miller? I know he's been in trade rumors. He hasn't lived up, as Marcus alluded to, you alluded to. He hasn't lived up to the expectation of, the Bears traded up to go get him in the 2nd round.
Yes.
So, and I don't know if it's the Bears system or him. It just seems like it just is not working. But he's still on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
What do the Bears do with Anthony Miller?
Well, the thing about Anthony Miller, if they cut him, they'll save $1 million. That's not a whole lot of money. And so, but inconsistency has been the name of his game. I think when they played the Giants, that was the 2nd game of the season, right?
Yeah.
He dropped a crucial touchdown pass in that game.
Yeah.
But he did have the game-winning touchdown against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
He had the game-winning touchdown against the Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
And so he's just been up and down. He got kicked out in the game in the playoffs against the New Orleans Saints. And so this is my thoughts about Anthony Miller. I say keep him. Okay, this is his last year of his contract. Okay. This is a make or break year for Anthony Miller. His people in his corner, whoever it is, his uncle, his agent, whoever it is, need to tell him hey, look, bro, you need to be all that hothead stuff, all that reacting to taunting from the other team and just getting too emotional, things like that. Cut it out, man. Get paid. Have a really good season. Have a really, really good season and get an extra contract. Okay. So I would say, keep him because he's in a contract year. He needs a big year. We signed Marquise Goodwin, the track star, okay? Very, very fast guy. We get Allen Robinson, franchise tag. Darnell Mooney showed he's the man. But if Anthony Miller can hold down that slot receiver position, but the Bears still going to have to, I would say, on day 3 in the 5th round, I can see they got 4-6 round picks. I know Ryan Pace is going to trade at least 2 of those picks. At least 2.
And
That's 2
they're like 4 picks within 25. 4 picks within 25 slots.
That's too many 6th round picks for him.
That's too many.
I gotta trade something.
He's really the best 6th round pick.
If by day 3 he ain't already traded them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then in the 6th round, he already know he has very bad luck in the 6th round. The best 6th round pick he ever drafted was DeAndre Houston Carson. Mm-hmm. And the Bears are in like a 15-year drought of drafting a good player in the 6th round, which was Chris Harris, the safety, played in the Super Bowl.
Like
got an interception.
Okay.
Yeah, got an interception in the Super Bowl for the Bears. And that was the last 6th round pick that the Bears drafted that was a starter, respectable guy. And so, Ryan Pace has been missing left and right in the 6th round. And he's been hitting, like you said, Marcus, Darnell Mooney, Adrian Amos, Bilal Nichols, Jordan Howard. Okay, he's been hitting in the 1st round. So I'm sure he's going to trade up in the 5th round. He's got to be looking at a wide receiver if he haven't already taken one in the first 3 rounds.
That would be huge if 2 drafts in a row he hit on 5th round receivers. That would be huge.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
Well, hopefully he can find the hidden gem, whatever's out there, somebody out there, like whatever position it is. It could be receiver, running back. I'm still one of the people that still think they could use a running back. I know Tyreek Cohen is coming back, but he's more of a flash guy, slot guy. He's better at catching than running the ball in between tackles.
We'll see what Damian Williams is going to do.
I mean, that was
City.
Yeah,
He opted out last year.
He opted out, so we don't know what he's going to be. So I still wouldn't mind if they find a back or somebody, right? Maybe they can find somebody because It was just Montgomery, and that's it last year for the Bears. That was it. It was Montgomery, and that was it. It was nothing else behind it. They had Cordell Patterson, who was great on special teams, great at returning kicks, but not great at running back.
You're right.
Not great at running back. So
he's with Atlanta now, right?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Okay.
That's a good pickup for Atlanta. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson is a good football player.
It's just when they sign these contracts and you see for how much money, you just look at your team like you didn't have $3 million. Because he only signed for like $3 million. I'm like, wow.
I think the Bears just made a decision like we're not gonna sign him back regardless. So even though he was very valuable to the special teams, and he returned. I mean, he won some games for the Bears returning kicks. So, but yeah, you try to find that hidden gem. We'll see though. We're gonna see. We just don't know what the Bears.
I'm encouraged when it comes to day 3 with Ryan Pace. I'm always encouraged. He's gonna draft some people I probably never heard of, but once again, I'm gonna be honest, I had never heard of Darnell Mooney, and so was like by game 3, like, oh, I like him.
Mooney was that was definitely one of the steals of the draft. So I got
Adrian Amos started from day 1.
Yeah, I got to give him
day 1 starter. So actually, Eddie Jackson was 4th round as well.
Fourth round. Well, he went 4th round because he broke his leg.
So this is the time where you take some chances. Maybe some opt-out guys fall deep.
Nick Kokowski was a 4th round pick.
Yeah.
Tariq Cohen. He's pretty good on that day 3 stuff.
So this is some chances where maybe some people got underrated. Maybe some people didn't play this past year. And Ryan Pace showing that Ryan Pace likes to be different in the room.
Well, whatever happens, hopefully Ryan Pace don't trade the whole draft for
Trey Lance.
For Matt Jones. Yeah, that's all we hope for. But listen, this is make or break for Ryan Pace this year and Matt Nagy. So whatever they do in the draft, they better be sure about it. They better be confident about it. And hopefully they make some good picks, and hopefully the Bears can add some talent to that team.
And you say it's make or break, but I pray it's not make or break. Because if it's make or break, that means they might start trading 2022 picks and 2023 picks. I really hope they just ain't put it out there that they were making moves like they were confident that they're not on the hot seat. I know the media said they're on the hot seat, but the moves they make is not on the hot seat. I just don't like the GM being in a position without a contract.
Yeah.
Because you never know. He might go out day 1 and trade first round 22, first round 23 for Matt Jones, as you said.
Right. Yeah.
Everything we was gonna get Russell Wilson, here's Mac Jones.
No. Oh my goodness.
Please no.
All right, on that, I don't even want to think about it. Hey, because it could happen. That's what I'm scared. I'm scared it could happen. It's very possible. Hey, listen, y'all been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. We want to send a special thanks to my homie, Mr. Coach Marcus Floyd. Thanks for being a guest on the show. Thanks for helping us out. In the meantime, in between time, make sure you go on YouTube, subscribe to that Spectator Sporting page. Until then, we out. Peace.
Mac Jones, baby.
No Mac Jones. No Mac Jones. No Mac Jones. Now, if he fall to 20, maybe, but